Hello, welcome back. This is Cynthia at Including You Journals. I hope you're doing well. Today we're going to look at how I make some of my labels. And I'll tell you up front that I create my labels, actually I create everything I do on Google Docs. It's just a simple program for me to use. There are others out there, Canva, the Draw, I believe that's with Microsoft. It's not one that I'm familiar with using, but I do like Google Docs. I do like Pixabay, Pixabay. I do love Graphics Fairy. There are so many images out there, but if I want to start from scratch and create something to use on a bookmark, such as a simple little label here or here, I've just included this one to fold over. Here's one coming up this side. Or if I want to use something on a book page, such as here or down the side in this manner, I create on my own. I have to thank people like Tracy Fox, who creates the most fantastic labels, and Nick the Booksmith, who has inspired me, maybe lots of us, with field notes and labels that have numbers that look like they belong with books in a library. They're absolutely phenomenal. But of course, what you see on the blue page are just shapes that I created in Google Doc, or Google Docs rather, and I have cut out these. But this is how it actually begins. I print out a page that I have created with all of the labels like this. And my finished product, before I cut them out, will be something of this nature. And you can see I have stamped all over them. It looks horrible. It's a horrible hodgepodge, but when they're cut out, you saw what they look like when I had them spread out on the blue paper to begin with, and how they actually look on cards, journaling cards, pockets, other pieces of ephemera that we include in our journals. This page I've included here because these images were from Pixabay. I believe all three of these, I think all three of these were from, I'm sorry, I don't know if they were from Pixabay or if they were from the Graphics Fairy, but I printed these out, and then I've still come in and I have stamped on them some numbers, and with a round J. The round J is a stamp that I just happened to find at a yard sale or maybe Goodwill or somewhere of that nature when I was going through. I believe these are all from Pixabay that I've just found. Graphics Fairy, I'm pretty sure these are from the Graphics Fairy, and I've just stamped here to get that. I love that little round image because it's like a seal to me, and I just like how that looks when the actual, maybe you can see here, when the actual label has been created, and you can see either a portion of it, and I just make them different colors, and sometimes just do partial ones so that they don't all look like J or be included. Sometimes they are actually going off the page, maybe like this one here. But I'm going to show you how I actually do that and how I create it. It's very simple and a lot of fun, actually. Then when I create a page, what I do is I copy it so that I don't have to keep visiting the same kind of thing that I've already completed. So I print out then one sheet with lots of colors, typically the same size, but of course you can see that not all of them are the same size, and not all of them are the same shape, such as here I have the ovals and the diamonds, and even the sizes are varying here as well. Okay, let me set that aside. And one of the things that I'd like to show you is this stamp here that I purchased from Amazon, and it has both numbers and alphabet letters as well as the pound or the number sign. I'm trying to get it to come into focus, and I don't think it's picking up very well on the camera. I apologize for that. This has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I believe they make them maybe like 12 or 14 actually going across. That just doesn't serve me as well because the stamps are not that wide. I also utilize a date stamp that I found. I typically will cover up the July. I'll show you what I mean by that. Cover up the month so that it doesn't stamp. And then, of course, I have this little J round thing. It doesn't matter what the letter is. I just really, again, yard sale or maybe Salvation Army. I'm not sure where I purchased that. Someone may have actually even given it to me. I don't know. And I also keep with me several red black distress inks, archival inks as well, so that I'm not smearing some things. But then if I need something of a different color, such as a distress oxide, I use that as well. And I also have picked this up from somewhere. I don't know if I picked that up. Jurassics is what it looks like. It says ink pod for plan. So maybe off of Amazon, maybe not. I'm not sure where I purchased that. I've just had it for quite some time, and I believe it's water-based. I don't believe it's a permanent ink. But I do keep a little index card where I can, once I ink whichever gadget I'm using, I stamp off first before I stamp onto the card. And I just have a piece of blue paper here to help keep the ink off of my pink mat. And I'm going to start by using the red archival for the large numbers. Let me see if I'm getting this in the camera. Yep, so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so, and I will typically go over one into the second one, and I will change colors after I make a row and maybe change some of the numbers or the letters that are here. It helps to vary all of the labels as well, but just as simple as doing that. Okay, so let's do L. And all I'm doing now is taking a minute to change my numbers. Sorry for not talking. And I'm going to change from the red archival ink, excuse me for reaching, into the black archival. Again, stamping off just to make sure I'm doing okay with that. And then again, I'm going to go across one into the second one. And here you can see that I have black and red. It doesn't follow one line. It looks like there are two stamps, and I like that because sometimes labels are stamped multiple times. And I don't know how I managed to get my whatever this P is, and then the 5 and the 2 come below the R, and the R is really high. Let's see if I can straighten that R out just a little bit. Pull it back down. We'll see if I did any better. Maybe. I thought it was kind of fun just being askew anyway. Again, I'm not worried if anything prints outside the lines of the labels, because I'm going to cut those apart and that will all be hidden. Sorry. Okay, and now I'm going to go to the blue, even though it's not archival. In all honesty, I would rather use archival. And I'm going to change my numbers up a little bit here. Again, so give me a second while I stop to do that. let's try here. Okay. I love that we can do something simple and easy, again, especially when we're getting started and we just don't have the resources at hand. We're trying to order from other folks and trying to establish what we want to do as far as creating in our journals. So this is hopefully a way that you can come up with some ideas to help you get started as well. Make it at least a little easier. For beginning, and I'm just being quiet as I change the numbers on the stamp and begin again down this row. Again, choosing now a fourth color so that I have a couple of colors in each one. And it looks like this first row is not going to get two different colors, but that'll be okay. And don't worry if it doesn't print exactly. If you're being printed through customs or wherever you've ordered from, often those things will not be completely stamped. And I hold that as being okay. I don't have a problem with that. All right, now here is the J. In blue, after I've done all that, I switch over to and I'm going to run it off of the label just a little bit so that the J isn't exactly seen in each one. I'm also going to let it vary from dark to light and just appreciate the fact that there are some light circly strokes in some of that. I'll go over here now and do some on this side. I'm going to change that J around because I don't necessarily want to see J on every stamp. I don't have to have it to come through as a J. I'm more interested in getting the circle shape in these. Notice how as I'm getting faster, I'm not even including the entire circle, and I don't care about that. I am appreciative of the fact that I'm getting a little bit of a different kind of thing going on there. So now I'm just simply changing to the red archival ink. And I want some more stamping there. Notice I've switched to going right down the center. Whatever sort of strikes my fancy is where I go with this. Again, using lights and darks. Even including those intersections there, which will be the edges when they are cut apart. And I'm also going to now use some of this Vintage Photo Distress Oxide. For another color change. You're not going to get any two stamps to be exactly alike. Whether you have the J upside down, turned sideways, halfway on it, the colors are all different. Where you actually end up stamping And if you just simply don't think about it, but go ahead and stamp, I tend to like it even better when I do that after I've cut them out. I like that quite a bit. I'm even going to use some of the black archival here on a few of these, maybe on a lot of them, I don't know. Depends on how dark it's coming out and how much I think I've covered. Again, just trying to get the edges in a lot of areas. And I'm not watching where I'm putting down my stamp into my ink. But I didn't have an accident, so there. The last video I created, I noticed about halfway through the video that the heat pump came on, and I had no idea it was so loud. I'm so sorry for that. So before I began this video today, I actually turned down the heat about 4 degrees so that it wouldn't come on. And anyway, it's not that cold yet, but I was trying to watch what I was doing. I think I'm going to stay with this black archival ink, and now I'm going to switch to this. This is the date stamp that I have, and I don't want July on there, but I do want the numbers. It looks like there's just a number or a pound sign with a 20 and a blank. I'm not sure that's coming out, but if you'll notice, I'm just trying to catch the July part there. Can actually go over and get some of that 9 in there a little bit better. Again, just because it gives a little different variation of the font size for the numbers and the letters. There's a pound or a number sign there. I like that as well on these stamps. So maybe you can see what I'm trying for there. And I'm using the index card to catch the July so that it's not actually going onto the label or the paper. Although I don't know that that would be a problem. I just didn't really want it to look like a date stamp. So I was trying to disguise that while I'm still getting numbers. Well, and that got the July, so we'll probably use it. If I don't like it, I can always throw away that one. But I do like the fact that I'm getting a varied number there. And I'm going to switch from the black archival to the red archival. It's actually called Red Geranium, and the black was jet black. Okay, let's try some of this red here. And you may not see it coming through strikingly. I kind of think that's okay. If I get one of those numbers on there, at least I'm showing a different font coming through. As though we have been through customs or airports or post offices and in several places. And I think you're getting the idea. I hope this is not just boring you to tears watching this, but I wanted to give you an idea. And then I would simply cut out these and be able then to use them on ephemera pieces that I want to create. I'm not going to cut them out because I will want to copy this page before I do that. I'm going to put some of the ones that I did create earlier back up on the blue page, just so you can get an idea of how the finished product looked. I know you saw it at the beginning, but here it is one more time. And especially picking out this odd shape, and you can see even this shape here. I really like when I come in with that little circle J there. Just to me, I like that little stamp going on. Here's one of the ones that shows, let's turn it correctly, Q pound or number 9, O number 8, and then it looks like it was stamped with part of the date stamp may have come off there, and then some of the round circles from the J stamp. I think that shows up fairly nicely. Again, you can see several of the date stamps going across on this one. Excuse me, that's not the date stamp, but the stamp with the that is numeric and also alpha, that is alphanumeric. And here you can see the July if you really look to see what that is, but it gives you a font in something different than the 8.19. I just think it's an easy way of creating stamps. If it's something that you like, I hope you'll try it on your own. But you can make them simply, easily on your own computers and print these out and have them to use. And then don't forget the folks like Tracy Fox and Nick who have these, I believe, both in their Etsy shops. But Tracy makes these all the time. She makes beautiful labels for us to use with things such as figures or figure 1, figure 2, field notes, kinds of things. And I believe Nick has some of that as well. And I'm just so appreciative to these ladies for sharing what you do. This is just another way and another idea. Thank you for joining me. I hope that you have something that will inspire you in one way or another. I hope you have a great day. And I hope you enjoy me, or join me, excuse me. I hope you join me again. Thank you. Bye.